If one has a record, a historical record of not looking out for your interests, you can't expect them to come in and do anything good for you at any time because they have no respect for you as a human being.
Over in Texas, the Metroplex, Fort Worth, Dallas, Atatiana Jefferson dies in her own home when neighbors call to do a wellness check, a welfare check to see, making sure that everything is all right. And Miss Jefferson ends up dead. Here we go again, or is this something unique?
Well, it's not unique. It's here we go again. It's going to continue that way until the people in the community decide they're going to be a community. Every community in America, and especially in the minority community, ought to have what I call a CAT team.
CAT team?
Yeah, Community Action Team.
Is that anything like a, what do you say, neighborhood watch of some sort?
That's right, but it's a little more advanced than that.
Okay.
It's a team of very qualified members in the community that have a variety of training in technology, military, and I would say good common sense, where they put a team together. And when you have crisis in the community, even little minor problems, they will be dispatched to that area. For instance, if you had one of these teams in that part of the state, they could have moved to that lady's house, called out to her. They should have had her phone number if she lives there. You have to organize the community teams first, just like the neighborhood association. They know who the people are. They know their phone numbers. They know their email accounts. They might not even visit them very often, but they know how to call them. And that's what they could have done.
Well, I think the question may have been put to me some time ago about policing versus these teams or medical professionals that you talked about to actually respond to some of these situations where people are ending up dead. So should people in some of these underserved communities be even calling the cops? Because it doesn't seem like there's this endless array of ways that people are ending up dead on the simplest of calls.
Well, I don't think they should call the cops as often as they do when they can take care of things themselves. See, if you want to lose your power base and the privileges as a citizen, you don't call outsiders to take care of your personal business. They could have handled that themselves. If I had been in a situation like that, even though I moved in a community and I don't know my neighbors by name, but I know them when I see them. We don't talk very often, but if I see a door open, I will holler out to them before I go in.
Well, isn't that one of the nuances of how some of these things, when you're talking about calling in entities, outside entities who do not live, vote, work, or anything in that community, being brought in to solve a situation that the indigenous people and the neighbors should be able to actually bring to a good conclusion?
Well, they can, if they would organize. So you first have to organize, then you don't have to criticize what I call the human enemies of mankind. If one has a record, a historical record of not looking out for your interests, you can't expect them to come in and do anything good for you at any time because they have no respect for you as a human being. And when you don't respect a human being, you care nothing for his livelihood, nor his life. You have no respect for his institutions, and you would destroy this person or this group with impunity.
Well, I know that some of my work with clergy and law enforcement here locally in Mississippi, where there are groups that are being formulated to address these types of issues, but I'm not sure that that's getting momentum around the country, meaning clergy and the relationship with law enforcement, fire department, and the other institutions that are supposed to be preserving and serving and protecting. And this hasn't gained enough momentum, but I do know some individuals involved in that here, and even some of the stuff off of the net in direct response to this particular shooting, and the clergy were on that but again, little too late, seemingly.
Right. Well, that's because, these trends, it takes a long time to get a trend to be moved from California to New York City to Mississippi. This will probably happen in the next 15 or 20 years here in Mississippi. But when you put those kind of teams together, as we mentioned earlier, where you have the technology people, the medical people, the police together, community activists forming a team and getting the community corralled to a position where they feel that they are inclusive, things can happen and things will change positively.
Well, we'll look to see that and hope that it does move in that direction, because something's got to be done. If it's not about gun control itself, it's got to be about the interaction, because historically, the tide displays a worrisome situation with our interaction with some of these police departments around the doggone country.
Well, the thing is, we don't need any gun control.
No?
No, sir. That's one of the problems. If you learn from experience that if you want to destroy someone, you take away his weapons or his mode of self-defense. That's the last thing you want to have, any kind of gun controls in America.
Well, I think I remember something in the Constitution about well-regulated militia vis-a-vis hunting culture and so forth, and it grew out of that, and the fear of government and the tyranny that can result out of that sometimes. So well-regulated militia is not part of what we're talking about here. We talk about taking away people's guns.
Well, that's what people want, to take away the guns. I believe that everyone should have weapons, but the underlying belly there is to be trained with those weapons. I mention often as we talk about this topic, I have a neighbor now that has 3 sons. There are 5 of them in the house, 3 sons, the man and his wife. They are homeschooled, and all of them been taking weapons training since they've been 5 years of age. 2 boys and a little girl. They go to the range on a regular basis. They're all certified, trained.
Keep those skills sharp.
And they are good students. I understand they're all honor students, homeschooled. And the good news is they'll probably end up being some good citizens.